Hey guys, Sheree Thompson here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry that it's been so long since I've done an update about, I don't know, since my last video, at least 2 or 3 months ago, at the very least, in terms of when I realized what had happened. I had forgotten my login details for this YouTube account and was trying to log into some person's YouTube account. And long story short, I had to reset my password and realize who I was supposed to be logging in as, and I've got that all sorted now. So I am back and I wanted to give an update. I think I'm sitting around the 6-month mark in terms of my restarting AJATT journey. For those of you who don't know me, I am a mum of one. I'm a 32-year-old who is learning Japanese to fluency through the AJATT immersion, MIA, which is Mass Immersion Approach methods. So basically keeping yourself exposed to Japanese as much as possible. As much as possible, while also using Anki which is a space repetition program, flashcard up that spaces out your cards based on how well you know them, and yeah, so I am doing that, and I have been doing so for the last 6 months, and I wanted to give an update on where I'm at. I may need to get a drink in the middle of this, so please excuse any interruptions there. We've come down with a cold. It's Australia. In Australia, it's winter now. So yeah, let's just go into it. So, in terms of my Japanese journey, where am I at? So at the moment, I have finished kanji, which I cannot believe how satisfying that has been in terms of I've been exposed to all the kanji in my Anki deck. And I probably have a few hundred that keep coming up because they're just not sticking. So I have changed a bunch of the mnemonics, which is like my memory link to those words. And that's kind of worked. But in basically, long live short of it, there's a lot of kanji that I'm just keep repeating until they stick. And I don't actually mind that. I just exposure will eventually make these kanji stick in my brain. So I've still got a lot of frequent reviews of kanji coming through, and I'm cool with that. But in the next breath, I am also doing a huge emphasis on doing sentences. So at the moment, and I think this was my downfall before. So when I studied Japanese before, I was focusing a lot on learning single words, which you need at least about 1,000 of the most commonly used words in your memory bank to help you start making sentences. So I was kind of past that stage already when I restarted Japanese. So I had quite a few words under my belt, but basically no grammar or no functionality within the language to create much of anything. But, I would hear, the word dog or president or woman or laughter, like as words in a podcast, and have some idea of what was being talked about, but no idea when it happened, what was happening, how it might have happened, the reason why it was funny, like all these things that make language what it is. So, and so that's what's been kind of, I guess, really frustrating, is that I've been studying Japanese a long time. I've done academic study of Japanese, so I got through first year, but I haven't made any fluency or like leaps and bounds to fluency, if that makes sense. So, so my big focus has been on sentences and making sure that I get lots of sentences in there. So that has been happening. The last few weeks have been the big focus on more sentences. And so my cards basically have lots of, when I create one card, when I create, my words are not going to come out right, but when I create one card, 4 are actually generated. So I have a card where the photos are represented. So let's say the cat ate the tuna. I have a cat and then a person eating, and I'll have tuna. And so I know from the photos that I need to create a sentence that says the cat ate the tuna in Japanese. I don't have any English underneath my pictures. I try and keep it as monolingual as possible. And then yeah, that's one card. My second card will be the audio saying in Japanese, the cat ate the tuna. And then so that I see if I'm correct, then the back side of my card will be the photos of before where that shows the cat eating the tuna. Third card, so we've got producing, listening, a gap sentence. So a gap sentence is really good for memorizing grammar. So what I do is if I'm most likely to forget what particle to use in a particular sentence, because I'm not as familiar with it, I will deliberately make a card where it might be the word to, like the particle to. So maybe sometimes instead of using to, I use ni or wa or something like that. I will gap out where to is supposed to be. So then I actually see the sentence. I don't hear the sentence. I see the sentence and I have the pictures of what the sentence says. But my job is then to figure out how do I make this sentence say the cat eats the tuna and use the right particle in the sentence. So I have a card for that. And then, there's one more. Reading. So another one is the complete sentence written, and my job is to say or think the sentence in my mind and see if I get it correct. And then when I flip the card over, then I get the audio. So all in all, I only need to create, 4 times, let's just say I have 4 cards to create. 4 times 4. If I want to make 16 cards a day, I only need to put 4 sentences in per day to create 16 cards, which is very manageable effort if you don't ask me. Yeah, I know what I was meaning to say. But anyway, so in terms of card creation, which I thought was going to be a lot more difficult, it's actually going a lot better than I expected. I'm actually keeping up in terms of the pace I want to do. So I want to have about 20 cards, new cards every day that I'm learning. So I try and keep around making at least 4 to 5 cards per day into my Anki deck. And so, I wanted to mention there is a text to Japanese generator, and I believe there's an Anki add-on for this in the Anki app, but I will link it down below in the description. But basically, if I find a sentence on a news site or something that I'm reading, or in a textbook or my grammar book, anything like that, I can copy that into the text to speech generator on this website, and then it will create a little WAV file that I can then upload into my Anki deck. I think Anki doesn't like WAV files, so before I do that, I change it to an MP3. So you just change the extension, instead of .wav, you change it to .mp3, and then I can put that into my cards. So I wanted to mention that it is a very, very useful tool, and something that I need because I don't always do my reviews on the computer, and so I think I could be wrong. The Anki add-on is it doesn't create any MP3 files. It just speaks the text that's on screen, which is not always something I can do on my phone. I actually need the file there to create the cards that I want. So it's a very useful tool, and it means that if I find something on a news site, which at the moment I just look at headlines because there's not much else I can really read in huge detail, I can just copy the headline, put it into this, create a full flashcard for it, and go from there. So very, very helpful, and I'm finding and I'm using that a lot. So my emphasis, like I said, at the moment has been creating sentences and learning grammar that I am familiar with, like I've heard on podcasts or in speech. At the moment, toki ni has been coming up a lot. Dake, that's a loaded one. That's like a particle. So anything that's just tickling at me going, I wonder what that means. I look it up, I find it, and even if I don't understand all the grammar in its entirety and what it does, as long as I can understand a sentence or 90% of the sentence, and I get a feel for the grammar, that goes into my card. So that has been happening a lot. Like that's been something I've been focusing on. And so my biggest thing, like I said, I didn't do lots of sentences in my previous studies. And I think this is where I came undone. So I'm making a huge effort focused on sentences now. I've also using or starting to, very much emphasis on starting to use, so I've been watching Terrace House, which is like a Big Brother version of, well, it is a version of Big Brother almost, but a Japanese style and less trashy, if I'm honest, TV show. And someone has created flashcards, which include the audio, the text, and a picture of the scene there. And because I've watched it, I have access to Netflix here, because I'm not a fan of downloading things illegally and all that kind of stuff in order to learn. And because I've got my subscription to Netflix with this TV show on here, while that's active, I see no reason to be able to use the content in order to further my language learning. So I am using a deck that someone has used subs to SRS in order to create these Anki cards, and I'm going to start going through one episode and only one episode because it's a lot, just to get used to TV shows and more grammar, more sentences, without actually having to put a heap of work in myself. So yeah, in terms of my comprehension, just speaking in general now, my comprehension level of Japanese is probably sitting around like the 20-30% mark. So I'm feeling very encouraged about the progress that I've made, considering all like the struggles I've had. So I've had my Anki reviews for the last few weeks sitting around the 1,000 mark, because I haven't been able to get the reviews I've needed to get done within the day done. Those reviews then just carry on to the next one. So let's say I've got 1,000 reviews and I get 600 cards reviewed. I've still got 400, which will then get tacked on to my reviews for tomorrow. And so it's been like that for weeks, and I would say it's been bumming me out. It's been irritating. I don't want anyone to think that just because your reviews are really high that you can't make any progress. But I feel like your reviews can mean as much or as little to you as what you make of them. Like, it's totally on me as a person, or you as a person. And so I decided I'm not going to make that mean anything. I'm just going to keep going. And that has been one of my biggest like mental tips in terms of this language journey. Like, just because you don't understand something, don't make it mean anything. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you never will understand it. It doesn't mean it's going to take you ages to learn this grammar point or whatever. It just means as little as much as I make it mean. And so I'm choosing to make sure that that nothing in this language journey is going to overcome me. And that includes my reviews in Anki. That includes my immersion. I'm just going to do it, because basically long and short of it is I want to be a Japanese interpreter and translator down the track. And if I'm going to do that, I just have to keep going. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So reviews have been high, but at the moment, if I get my reviews done today, I will have them down to 600. And if I get those reviews done, I will end up back down to the 400 reviews per day mark, which is very manageable for me. And it's like half an hour in the morning, half an hour at night, and I can kind of knock all those out, give or take maybe like 15-20 minutes extra or on that. So yes, so that is my journey at the moment. I've actually found it really good, even though I've only done 2 previous videos. Looking back at where I'm at and what I was doing and how it was going. So I'm going to continue doing these, even if it's for myself. But if you're on this journey as well, I have been snooping around, looking at videos from I think Blaze has been the one. He's got very big hair. So hi Blaze, if you ever watch this. Been watching his journey, and anyone else that pops up. So yeah, I love seeing videos of people on the same journey as me, and I try and put comments and stuff. So if you have any questions, comments, you just like this video, please put them down below or hit the like button, because even though, like I said, I'm doing this for me, I do also want to be able to inspire other people down the track to see what is possible. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I promise I won't leave it 6 months or however long it's been before I update again. Yeah, because I feel kind of this is where I'm getting traction now, and I will just keep going and going and going. So yeah, it's kind of exciting to see what will happen next, and I will sign off there. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.